shiitake. Happy New Year, or happy whatever day you're watching this. Today we're gonna make tteokguk. Tteokguk is rice cake soup. So tteok is rice cake and guk is soup. It's shaped like a coin-ish, which is why it's eaten for New Year's, to create abundance and wealth and all the good things. I like to use some beef that has fat in it because that fat is gonna help with the broth. I also have a vegetarian version where I switch out the beef for dried shiitake mushrooms. So yeah, let's get started. It's one of my favorite soups. Blowers, no. Down. Ooh. First thing is the sirloin steak. So I have sirloin honestly just because it was on sale. So you can use ribeye, you can use New York strip, you can use brisket is more traditional, but it doesn't have enough fat for me. So I decided to use this sirloin. And you just want to cut it into little bits. The main purpose of this is to flavor the broth. And then this fat cap I'm going to leave on. I like to leave them into like larger chunks, but again, that's a preference thing. You can actually also use ground beef for this. I've seen that in recipes before, but I just prefer it this way. So, all right, so beef is ready. I am gonna go wash my hands. I'll be back. So I should have chopped all the vegetables and everything first before I did the meat, so I didn't have to wash everything off and then come back again, but we all make mistakes. Okay, so next with the toppings are the green onions. And what I'm gonna do, these were a little wilty, so I had to cut some bits. But what I'm gonna do for the white part is put that in the broth to flavor it. And then the green part is gonna be for the garnish. And then Fresno chili. The Fresno chili is really for color. It just makes it pretty. That's one of the things about Korean food is like, it's very aesthetically pleasing, which is something I really appreciate. So that's what we're gonna do there. So just thin slices. Be careful handling it after because it will make everything you touch spicy. Now we're going to separate the eggs from whites and yolks. So how I do it is I kind of just like let some of the white go like that and then turn it over. Ta-da! I'm so glad. And then you just kind of toss it in between the shells. I am being way too cocky. Okay. And then put it like that. Ah! See? The universe always lets us know to simmer down. Okay. And there. And then, whoop. So if that happens to you, all you have to do is use the shell like that. Do-do-do. And you're fine. I'm glad that happened so I could show you. All right, next we need to toast the seaweed. You don't necessarily have to do this part. I think it's worth it just to take a little bit of extra time to toast it because the flavor will change for sure. And right now it's a little bit more pliable, and when you toast it, it gets crispier, so it's easier to like crunch up. So you just use the top of the stove. You can start seeing it change. Ooh, you want to be careful not to go too crazy, and you can definitely smell a difference. Oh, it smells so good. You can cut them into strips, but I'm just going to do this. Yeah. I don't know why this is so therapeutic. If you go kind of gently, it won't go all over the place. So, like that. So, all right. Last thing for the toppings is making the egg top. stir this. So just a little bit of oil. All right. And, ooh, got some fresh eggs. So these are nice and yellow. Just move it around. Awesome, and then at this point you can just turn off the heat. Heat is off. All right. I just like to cut it into strips. Some people cut this off to make it into a square. I don't like to waste it, so I just do that. Egg ribbons. There you go. I love this pot so much. It retains so much heat after or while you're cooking a soup that like it continues to boil for like I want to say a good 20 minutes. After it's very sad to eat cold soup. So since the toasted does take a while to heat up, I am putting it to high. These rice cakes, they do not they don't really expand that much. So how many ever rice cakes you want, do it. Bottom. Oh, I forgot garlic. All right, now we're gonna add the white part of the green onions. If you remembered to have garlic, you'd put that in now. I'm gonna just pretend that I have this garlic all along. So, stir it around. In my recipe, it's about 5 cups. It depends how much broth you want. The rice cakes will soak in some of the water, so do like a little bit more than you think. All right. Yay! Now, what's gonna happen is we're gonna add the soup soy sauce. And soup soy sauce, I'll put a link to the difference between soy sauce, soup soy sauce, and fish sauce. Fish sauce, I've put that in here before. That would be lovely also. And this is where we're gonna get most of our salt. So that's why I have like 2 big tablespoons or 2 big cloves. Here. 1, 2-ish. All right, so it should be good. And we're just gonna let this boil. Looks so good. So the thing about using fatty cuts of meat is that it gets to a boil and it does create almost like a foam on top, and a lot of people scrape that off. Confession time, I don't, because I like that flavor. So I just kind of stir it back into the soup to get it. But if you want to skim that off, that is totally fine. I'll show you the stage that it needs to be at when you should skim it off. So this is the point where you can see on the top, I'm just gonna skim it off, where people like to take it out. Okay, I'm going to taste the broth now, just to see the salt level, if we need to add any more. I'm gonna guess that we do, because I did add a little bit more water than usual. My God, so good. Yeah, definitely needs more because it's salty and umami. That's like a tablespoon-ish. Just let that go. I'm so excited. So, final steps. We're going to put the rice cakes in gently. And let that hang out for, it only needs about like 5-ish minutes. I just take one out and see if it's as fluffy as I like. Let's see. That's a terrible way. I'm gonna bring that back to a boil. Oh my gosh. And like I said before, I like mine really brothy, but you could even make this with like half the amount of liquid if you're really focused on like the rice cakes and just having a little bit of soup. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the heat. And add the egg whites. Boop. I like to stir it around a little bit just because I like it to be like egg drop soup. And then leave it alone. Okay. How I'm going to top this off, I like to push the rice cakes to the middle a little bit. And then egg ribbons. You're just trying to make a pile. There. Green onions in another pile. And I dropped one. That's okay. Fresno chilies in the middle. Oh my god, look how pretty that is. I will grab that one then. To the side. And then some kim. Kim is seaweed in Korean. And then I'm going to drizzle some sesame oil and sprinkle some sesame seeds just on the side. It's done. Let's eat it. So this is, oh my god. So some of the rice cakes are already starting to soak up that broth. You just mix it up like this. You guys. And I like to eat my tteokguk with some kkakdugi because it brings some texture, and the more sour the better for the kkakdugi. It's just so good. Let me get some of the rice cake, some of the steak. And the steak isn't in there for texture because it's been boiled. It's going to feel a little drier, but that's because we boiled all the fat and everything out of it. Happy New Year to me. See y'all later. Bye.